What's good, y'all? We back after a little hiatus today, and we're gonna discuss the problem with body game in corporate. I got a little list here of topics that we're gonna cover, and if you practice body game and you're trying to get your first job in corporate, or maybe you practice body game and you're already in corporate, you're probably gonna relate to the things I'm about to discuss. And if you ain't made it to corporate yet, just know that if you're on body game, you will experience some of these things, if not all. Now, the first thing you got to understand is the majority of the population is cooked. People just eating whatever, they live in sedentary lifestyles, they're not watching their diet, they're not getting no exercise. And as a result, over the years, over the months, they put on weight. They don't try to fix it because they don't really see a reason to. They getting a paycheck, they feel uncomfortable, and they just living life. But when you show up and your body speaks for itself, that you put in some effort, it makes them feel insecure, it makes them feel some type of way, because although we both got the same 24 hours in a day, I'm putting mine to better use physically than whatever you're doing with your time. And there's nothing that money can do to change that. You can make $1 million versus a dude that makes 10 grand a year. And the dude that makes 10 grand a year is always going to clear when it comes to females and all types of stuff regarding your physique over the dude that makes $1 million. I hear this saying that says money is a great equalizer, only to a certain extent. There's things that money can't do for you that your physicality can. So the first thing y'all need to understand about corporate, most of the people in corporate were losers in high school. In high school, there's a hierarchy. You got the cool kids, the athletes, and then at the bottom is usually the nerds. You got a couple exceptions here, the cool nerds that hang out with the athletes sometimes, but it's rare. But anyway, there's hierarchies no matter where you go. So the majority of people in corporate, not all of them, the majority of them in corporate were losers in high school. Now, what happens when you get a bunch of losers in a room? Another hierarchy must be made. So you got a bunch of losers making hierarchies, okay? The boss, you got the people under the boss, and that's basically it. And everybody's in there brown nosing, doing favors, trying to get favors, trying to look important, put it that way. There's a lot of people in there going around acting busy, not really doing nothing. But you need to understand, when you practice body game and you come into that kind of environment, you immediately disrupt the hierarchy no matter what it is. You draw attention to yourself naturally without you even trying. And because you do that, you're going to get a lot of haters from people that are not practicing body game. Me personally, what I witnessed, I entered corporate, bro. Everybody was fat as shit. People's stomach hanging to their knees. I even seen a dude in there that had a vest on that was so large. And the reason why it was large was because he couldn't even keep his pants to his waist. He was so fat. The back of his pants was just sagging, but you couldn't really see it. You couldn't see his boxers because his vest just covered like the whole back. But you knew that them jeans wasn't covering 1 inch of them drawers. People in general in the United States, the obesity rate is out of control. A lot of people are overweight. So if you practice body game even just a little bit, you hit the gym, you get serious about it, you're going to start to see the attention that you get. Number one, most people in corporate were losers in high school. Number two, everybody fat as shit. Number three, there's a saying that says, don't outshine the boss. If you practice body game and your boss does not, by default, you're going to outshine the boss. It's not something that you can avoid. It's just going to happen naturally. And if your boss is insecure, he's going to make your work life more difficult than it has to be. When I was working with my insecure boss, dude's married, got a wife and all that. I'm not sure why he feels the need to be insecure, but I'll tell you a story. It was Halloween, and they said everybody got to dress up. So I was like, all right, whatever. I put on a superhero costume. It was kind of tight fitting. And mind you, I'm not even like where I want to be on this body game shit. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm almost there, but I'm not there yet. So I don't consider myself to be like in peak physical condition, but I definitely stand out from the rest. Like, you can see I ain't no slouch. I really get to it in the gym. But I put on this costume. I didn't really think too much of it. But in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, yeah, you kind of shitted on everybody when you did that. Because that morning meeting, everybody showed up in their costumes. Everybody's just fat as shit. I'm standing there like a literal superhero. And the boss makes it a point to start mentioning my physique. Oh, you're in very good shape and blah, 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 this and that. I didn't think too much of it. I thought that was just going to be the end of it. Like, he just made a comment and I just said, I appreciate it. And I thought that was going to be it. Why this dude, ever since that day, he'll see me eating steak and fish and chicken for lunch. He'll make a smart comment about it. I steady see him going in the office freezer, grabbing Hot Pockets and going to the microwave and just chowing down at his desk. You control what you put in your body. Nobody's forced you to eat them Hot Pockets. Nobody's forcing me to eat the meat. Pause. And ever since that day, he just been making snide comments, sly remarks. Now, me personally, I don't really take shit from nobody. But in corporate, you're forced to hold your tongue. Because if you don't hold your tongue, your position is at stake. And that's what I hate about corporate. You can't really express yourself. There's no freedom of speech in corporate. If you think there's freedom of speech in corporate, you're going to be getting a visit or you're going to be visiting HR. Put it that way. So it's going to be the sneak dissing. You're going to outshine the boss by default, bro. So just be prepared for that. The next part. In this day and age, we're still working with people who are our parents' age. So you're going to be dealing with older dudes. They're going to be older dudes in the environment by default because they was there before you. They run in the system and they're going to be there until they're phased out. You got to understand, I experienced some hate from these older dudes because when I came in there, the females was like, oh shit, who is this? And all the attention came on me. I'm a low-key, discreet person, bro. Like, I don't be putting my business out there. I like to keep to myself. I don't be trying to be in the spotlight. I try to stay out the spotlight. I'm just chilling. But when you practice body game, you ain't going to be able to do that all the time. You got to understand that if you want to look from things from a primal instinct, which is how I look at everything from a primitive instinct, primal instinct. The female brain doesn't get triggered or activated by a dude that's fat as shit. In the older times, dudes that were fat as shit, they weren't hunting. They weren't really bringing home they weren't bringing nothing to the tribe. They were a burden. I don't even think there were people that were fat as shit back then because the way that the world was working, like you had to go hunt and do all of this stuff, there was no time to be fat as shit. When females see a dude that's in shape, it activates something that's primal in their instincts. They can't help it. So you got to understand that you're going to have dudes with them big ass pot bellies hating on you because you want to be in shape. And they just chopping it up with the females at the job thinking that, oh, she like me for me, bro. She don't really like you, bro. You just giving her free attention and you just not him. So understand, older niggas gonna hate. Next point. When you on body game, and I notice this a lot, people gonna come around you just to talk about bullshit, just to be seen in your presence. I'm the kind of person, I don't like to sit down and talk about bullshit if it don't got nothing to do with anything. Like, I don't like to sit down and just have small talk for the sake of small talk. If we talking about something, it got to be something that makes sense, that is like, can be applied to something. Like, I don't want to sit down and talk about what the fuck you did on a camping trip, what you did on vacation. I don't want to talk about dumb shit, bro. Like, and people gonna come around because they just want to be in your fucking presence because for some reason they think, oh, maybe if I hang around this dude that's on body game, maybe it'll rub off on me. Bitch, no. Ain't shit rubbing off. Take your fat ass to the fucking gym, watch your diet, start eating right, and maybe you'll start to see the results that you thought was going to rub off on me, on you, just by being in my presence talking about bullshit. This shit happened so many times, and I started to question. I was like, bro, we're supposed to be working. We're at a corporate job. It's a corporate environment. Why are you standing next to me talking about bullshit when there's work to be done? If I'm working and you got time to come talk to me about bullshit, you're not doing your job. And unfortunately, I experienced this a lot. People coming to me talking about shit that got nothing to do with nothing while I'm working because I'm that guy. Wasn't trying to be that guy, but hey, it is what it is. The next one. And this is an issue because you got a lot of couples from the past generation that met they work bae at the job and they got together and they still work together. Married women are going to flirt with you, whether their husband works at that job or not. I kid you not. There's a couple females in there. One got a boyfriend and one's married. I was at the morning meeting one day and I looked up to the board and I caught Shorty looking at me like she wanted to devour me. I don't know if it was that time of the month for her. I don't know what was going on, but that was the look of a Shorty that was going. And I was like, okay, now I'm not going to do nothing because I'm not getting clapped by no simp. Pause. I'm not getting taken out because I know how these simps be. They be ready to crash out over their female. And I did a little investigation. I was like, all right. I looked up her name on Facebook. I went to her relationship, found the dude, looked at him, was what I expected. Chopped. All the dudes of these females that I looked up on Facebook, their husbands or boyfriends were chopped. And I was like, I understand why they're attracted to me because look at what they're dealing with and coming to every day. Like, that shit wouldn't turn nobody on. You're dealing with a dude, and I can tell that they with the dude for financial support because that's not a dude that would be their first option. I'm looking at the females. I evaluate their appearance, and I'm like, these chicks could, definitely pull better. But I understand you getting older. You got to settle down or you're going to price yourself out of the market. And they took what was there. But don't think because the female's married or in a relationship that she won't step out on a dude that's not putting himself to work in the gym for a dude that's on body game. I stay away from females that are married. If a female, she got a boyfriend and she don't say nothing, I ain't going to think too much of it. It's whatever. But I'm not trying to be on the receiving end of the crash out of no simps because I know how these simps get. They're ready to die over that box. But yeah, the next part, people gonna sneak this. They're gonna talk shit behind your back. And you should expect this because jealousy is just admiration and envy at the same time. You got people that gonna be in your face. They're gonna be talking, trying to get information about your life from you, and then they're gonna run and tell the next person about it and start rumors and all of that stuff. Be prepared for it. Another thing too, if you work in a dual setting to where there's floor staff and then you have the floor staff is hourly and you work in a salary position, you got to understand, not only do you make substantial money, but you're also in shape. You instantly become a target. These females on the floor were in my face like some gnats to the point where I didn't even want to be on the floor. I would rather stay in the office, but there's nothing to do in the office. And if you're in the office, you got to act like you're busy. And acting busy to me is actually more work than actually having something to do. So I stayed on the floor because it's like, well, at least I'm out here. I can get to stuff quicker than if I'm in the office and I'm actually doing work. But you got to understand, bro. It gets to a point where you don't even want to interact with females because it's so annoying. And there's already a rule that says salary and hourly should not be having any kind of relations in or outside of work. Do you think the females on the floor care? They don't. They don't give a shit, bro. They steady trying to hand out their number. They steady trying to get in your face. They steady trying to get saved. I'm not saving no bitch, bro. Man, it's annoying, and it got me to the point where I'm like, I'm really good off females in general for the time being because I know why you're here, why you're in my face. You're trying to get to the bag. You see I'm in shape. And personally, a lot of these females was chopped, out of shape. And I got standards, bro, so I'm not finna tolerate no out of shape female just for nothing. Like, you can't even crack. I only deal with top tiers. And I gotta deal this way with females because of where I know I'm going. I'm not going somewhere to where I'm gonna be some average dude. Like, the work that I put in the gym, on the other side of the output, I'm gonna be a top percenter. And I don't got time for bottom percenters. You get into life what you put in. The next part. Be ready for the gay rumors. If you avoid unnecessary interactions with women and avoid talking about bullshit, Be prepared for the gay rumors. I was in the job and I was trying to keep it professional. I wasn't really trying to talk to chicks. I wasn't trying to be in their face because I'm not trying to get me too'd. I'm not trying to take no visits to HR. Females, for some reason, can't seem to fathom that a guy would be uninterested in them. Like, I don't know if it's their egos too high or whatever, but for some reason, when you turn a female down, her logical thought process, or I should say emotional thought process is, oh, he don't want me. He must be gay. Because they can't take the ego hit that you don't qualify for a dude, they're going to go straight to spreading them rumors. Now, me personally, I know what I am. I don't give a shit if somebody want to say that I'm gay. But this is just something that you should be prepared for, because the slander and defamation will come from you turning down females that you deem to be subpar, or if you're just trying to keep shit professional on a cordial level, be prepared for the rumors, because they coming. The next point. When you're on Body Game in corporate, you're going to actually experience what bad bitches experience from dudes that they find unattractive approaching them. So, a lot of dudes don't experience being approached by women and having to, like, get them out their face, let them down softly, turn them down, all of that shit. When you're on Body Game and you work in corporate, you're going to have a lot of females in your face trying to be slick, trying to be all up in your business. Just being straight creeps. I mean, I got to say for what it is. I know dudes can be creeps. Females can be creeps too. One of the major things that happened to me when I was at that job, I was in the office. I was talking to a shorty in the cubicle next to me, and I was standing up. So you could see me from the other cubicle and you could see me from her cubicle. I'm talking to shorty in the cubicle, and the shorty that's next to her, I caught this bitch trying to record me with her phone. I shouldn't say trying to, because she actually did. She was trying to be slick. She had her phone facing her, so she was like kind of self-recording, but she was obviously recording me. Now, I didn't say nothing. I seen it, and I act like I didn't see it because I didn't want to put her on the spot. I didn't want to, like, ruffle no feathers. I just act like I didn't see the shit, and I went back talking. And she was a new hire, too, so I was like, damn, I don't really want to put shorty on the spot for being weird, being a new hire and all that shit. But you got to understand, bro, females will try to record you. They going to be on all types of weird shit. They're going to be on creepy shit. And you just got to carry yourself like you being surveillance 24/7, because really you are. Everybody up in your business, everybody paying attention to you, everybody looking at you, and the boss gonna try to make your life difficult if he's insecure. You just gotta be prepared, bro. Females gonna turn into some creeps. They gonna be some creeps. And it's crazy because I'm not even where I want to be. Like what I said earlier, I'm not where I need to be in the gym. I'm still getting there though, and I'm gonna get there. But if this is what I'm going through now, and I'm somewhere between like 15 to 20% body fat, imagine when I get to 12 or 10%. I ain't gonna be working in corporate, bro. I just put it right there. I was never a fan of corporate. I used to work in food service, and the same things that were happening in food service translated to corporate, but it was just a lot more time for people to be bullshitting because the work demand is not as demanding as like when you're in food service. You got to be doing this. In corporate, people be just walking around barely. They be sitting at their desk bullshitting. I be walking past people on their phones, acting busy. I'm like, y'all just really here for a paycheck. Like, I'm here, I'm getting my work done. I'm putting in work. I'm doing what I'm told to do. I'm getting shit done. You got these individuals that just come to work, pick up a paycheck, and they go home. And you got to understand that your physique speaks for you, bro. When I look at someone that's fat, automatically, I understand that there's a level of incompetence to that individual. The fact that you're fat means that you couldn't put the fork down. You weren't disciplined enough to get yourself the help that you need, to put yourself in the gym where you need to be to better your life. And it is what it is. I can't force nobody. I'm not going to tell nobody what they need to do. People need to understand and look at themselves and be like, yo, I'm not in the best shape. I need to turn my life around and go from there. If they don't want to do that, it ain't no skin off my back, bro. Like, I'm doing me. You do you. So when it goes back to not outshining the boss, bro, like, I'm telling you, after that event, That dude been making snide comments and everything. And like I said, you can't tell the boss what's really on your mind because ain't no freedom of speech, and they are your boss. So you just gotta bite your tongue and deal with it for what it is. And when you can't take it no more, you gotta bounce. That's exactly what I did. I bounced. I'm on here sharing my experience, but these are the things that you need to understand. They're gonna happen to you if you practice body game in corporate. Now, if you came to this video thinking that, oh, this video is an excuse as to why I shouldn't get on body game if I'm going to corporate, this is not that. This video is not an excuse for you to not do body game. Still practice body game, but just understand that these are the things that's gonna come with it. But that's it for this video. Drop a like, drop a comment. If you got a topic that you want me to discuss next, I'm open to all suggestions. But that's it for this video, man. For my guys on body game, keep at it. You're gonna be at the top 10%, bro. Top 10% of the population. What sets you apart from everybody else is the actions that you're willing to take on a daily basis. Like I said, a lot of people in corporate fat as shit. So when you show up in shape and you're jacked and you're getting all the attention, be prepared for that hate to come, because it's coming. I'm up out of here. I'll catch y'all in another video. Peace.